En-Mao's Raw review for the 5th of May 2015. Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Raw review. Tonight, Raw comes to us from Montreal, Quebec in Canada, and it kicks off with Randy Orton making his way to the ring. As he does, we are welcomed to Raw by Michael Cole, JBL and Booker T, and they remind us of what happened last week on Raw, when Kane put the main event on Payback to a vote by the WWE Universe, and they unanimously chose a triple threat match between Randy Orton, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at the next pay-per-view. Randy gets a mic and starts talking about the name of the pay-per-view, Payback, and how it's fitting that he will get payback for the Extreme Rules result. He goes on to talk about his triple threat match that's coming up, and he doesn't seem happy that Roman Reigns is involved. He then says at Payback he will become the champ and there's nothing Rollins or Reigns can do about it. Roman Reigns' music hits and he approaches the ring through the crowd. He mocks Randy and says that if anyone is going to get payback on Rollins, it will be him. The crowd start chanting for an RKO. Reigns then says that the crowd doesn't fight for Orton. Orton starts mocking Reigns and says that at Payback, he is not going to just stand in a corner and watch. Reigns says if that's what Randy wants to do, then fine, but if he goes near Reigns, he won't be left standing. Orton stares at Reigns and says, obviously you have forgotten who you're talking to. Reigns replies with, obviously you've forgotten our past. Randy boasts about his achievements and how he has been in 12 consecutive WrestleManias, and then asks Reigns how many he's been in. Randy correctly then says 3, and then asks how many times Reigns has been the champion. A big fat 0. He tells Reigns he's got some catching up to do. And Reigns then replies, last time he checked, he beat Randy at SummerSlam. Wow, that's it. And he says that he just wants his payback on Seth, but he won't mind beating Randy again to win the title. Randy and Reigns argue, but they don't hold the mic up, so it's inaudible of what they're saying. New Day's music starts though, and a puzzled Reigns and Orton look up the ramp. Xavier, Big E and Kofi come onto the stage, and Kofi and Xavier are wearing the belts. Xavier though, I don't understand this, he wasn't in the title match when New Day won it, so I don't understand why he's wearing the belt, because he's not the champion. Anyway, Xavier tells everyone that there is too much negativity and it's got to stop. New Day sucks rings out. He says being that they are the only champions on view at the moment, it comes down to them to spread some positivity. He continues mocking Orton and Reigns, yet he isn't even a champion. He says no one cares about their Montreal boo-hoo job. Those days are over, and today is a new day. Kofi then takes over, saying that he knows Randy and Roman have squandered their title shots in the past, and he says what's in the past is in the past. But today is a new day, and everyone knows that New Day sucks. Big E then says to Roman that he shouldn't worry about Neville winning the big one, and then he taunts Randy about an inside joke about Rollins having Randy's number on speed dial. A lot of the crowd and myself just look confused. I don't get that joke at all. He says you keep getting knocked down, but tonight he has an opportunity to change that, and he says they should all clap with the New Day. Randy and Roman stand in the ring clapping along with the New Day sucks chant. Kofi then says he knew they wouldn't do it. Now, maybe the spotlights were shining in his eyes or something, or he just can't see that far to the ring. But I could quite clearly see they were clapping, but obviously he couldn't. He says that there is something they will do though, and Big E says that tonight they will take on the WWE Tag Team Champions, and they want a 3-on-2 handicap match. They say that this match didn't come from them, it came from the Director of Operations, Kane. And they say that this match is going to happen right now. And they make their way down to the ring. So after the commercials, we have our first match for the night. A 3-on-2 handicap match putting New Day against Orton and Reigns. Randy and Kofi start the match, and Kofi starts off with quick punches to the stomach of Randy. He Irish whips Orton into the corner and retaliates with a thunderous clothesline and a kind of suplex where he throws Kofi onto the top rope. And then he tags in Reigns. Roman suplexes Kofi into the ring, and we are reminded that this match isn't for the tag team titles. Kofi fights back and tags in Xavier Woods, and they lock up. Xavier gets Reigns in a headlock, and someone needs to tell him that they only used that move when coming back from a commercial. Reigns escapes and shoulder tackles Woods, then runs at the ropes. Woods tries to leapfrog Reigns but gets caught and suffers a Samoan drop. Reigns tags in Orton and they then double team Woods. Randy dominates Woods with a suplex and loads of stomps to the spine, and he won't let Woods get to his corner to get the tag. Once again Randy tags Roman and they double team Woods in their corner. Reigns does a few kicks and then tags Randy once again. Randy enters and then stamps on the face of Woods. That has to hurt. He continues stamping on Woods' chest, stomach, legs and arms, and it's purely sadistic from Orton. Woods fights back and stands next to Orton, punching him in the stomach, and he looks like a dwarf compared to Randy. Randy kicks him in the head and then turns to Kofi to warn him about interfering. While he does this, Xavier in his confused state staggers around the ring and manages to tag in Big E. He hits a belly-to-belly suplex before Orton realises what's going on. Now New Day keep Randy in their corner and all of them attack Randy. They keep tagging in until Xavier Woods gets tagged in and then the fight goes back to the middle of the ring. Randy starts a comeback but he gets drop kicked straight away by Woods and he takes Orton back to his corner and New Day continue their assault. We come back after a commercial and New Day no longer have Randy in their corner. He has magically been replaced by Roman Reigns. They continue the attack on Reigns and stop him from getting back to his corner. Big E hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Reigns and then taunts him as he gets to his feet. As soon as he does, he immediately hits another belly-to-belly suplex and Roman is getting tossed around like a ragdoll once again like at WrestleMania. Reigns kicks out at 2 and Big E drags Reigns back to the corner so New Day can continue their assault. Woods and Reigns fight in the middle of the ring because Reigns needs to tag Orton. He's about to when Woods hits a swinging neckbreaker and takes Reigns down again. Reigns kicks out at 2 again and Kofi's tagged in. He goes to the second rope and flying punches Roman in the face. Reigns fights back, but he gets floored when Kofi pulls his hair and drags him to the mat. A tag to Woods and then he gets Roman in a headlock. Roman lifts Woods up and throws him off and then delivers a flying clothesline to start making his comeback. Both men are down and the crowd are chanting, "We want Randy." Both men manage to make the tag and now it's Orton versus Kofi. And Orton comes into the ring like a wild beast. Several clotheslines to Kofi and he runs to his corner to get a third. But Kofi kicks Orton in the head, staggering him. Kofi jumps onto the top rope and then at Orton with a cross body block. But Orton reverses it straight into a power slam and goes for the pin. Only a 2 count because Big E gets a save. But as he does, Roman hits a Superman punch. Then Woods runs in and hits an enziguri on Reigns. It's carnage and only Randy and Woods are standing. Randy throws Woods out of the ring and gets Kofi into the second rope DDT maneuver. He plants Kingston and now it's RKO time. He stalks a fallen Kofi. As he does, he gets turned around by Woods, but Randy hits him with an RKO. He goes to get Kofi for the other RKO, and as he does, he gets speared by Roman Reigns. Big E pulls Reigns out of the ring, and Kofi covers Orton for the 3 count and the win. That match was a bit slow to pick up, but could have easily been a main event. I'm surprised that New Day got the win, but I suppose it sets up payback bad blood between Reigns and Orton. New Day head up the ramp celebrating while Orton lays in the middle of the ring complaining of his stomach. That's a huge victory for New Day if you come to think about it. Kane comes out onto the ramp and says he would like their undivided attention, and he says there's no shame in losing to the tag team champions. But he says if they were to finish their evening now, they could walk away with their heads held high and nothing to be ashamed of. But their evening isn't ending right now. He says that he can see Randy and Roman Reigns getting angry and annoyed with each other, and he's going to exploit that. He says that tonight's main event is a one-on-one match with Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. So, Raw has a roster of like 60 plus superstars, yet we are going to be subjected to another match with these two. Come on, Kane and the WWE, can't we see something else? He says that's what's best for business and walks off. Unfortunately, I have to disagree. Still, that's tonight's main event later on the Randy and Roman show. Kane is walking backstage and New Day are celebrating. They shout at Kane, "We did it, Kane," like a 2-year-old looking for praise. Kane continues walking, ignoring them, and he walks into Seth Rollins. Rollins asks Kane if the match he's just made is to make amends for all the bad decisions he's made lately. Seth then compares it to a naughty child being bad all year, but then on Christmas Eve he's good to make amends with Santa Claus. Kane looks confused, and Rollins goes on to say that the Authority, when they come back, are going to punish Kane for what he's been doing to Rollins. Kane says he's having trouble with Seth's Santa analogy because instead of leaving milk and cookies for Santa, Kane used to sit by the chimney attempting to fry his chestnuts with a blowtorch. Kane says regardless, he made the match because that's what's best for business. Kane then says he can't allow the WWE Champion to do nothing on Raw, so makes a match between Rollins and Dean Ambrose, because the Smackdown match was marred with outside interference. Rollins is not happy about this, and then Kane bans J&J Security from ringside. Rollins goes absolutely ballistic, and he says that Kane was the outside interference on Thursday and not J&J Security. Rollins says there is no point for this match as he's already beat Ambrose, and he starts to complain even more. Kane then says if Rollins isn't happy, he could start adding stipulations like handicapping body parts and tying them behind his back, etc. Rollins shuts up as he can see Kane is serious about this. Rollins storms off and Kane stands there smiling. Renee Young is stood in the ring and she's about to interview Ryback. Last week on Raw we found out that Ryback was a new prey of Bray Wyatt, and after his match last Monday he suffered a sister Abigail. Then on Thursday he took on Luke Harper, and after that the same thing happened. Let's see what happens tonight. He gets a mic and says, "Montreal, you sound hungry," and the arena goes quiet with about 20 people cheering. Well, that didn't work right. Renee then reminds him of the Bray Wyatt attacks and asks why he thinks he's the target now. He says he didn't know why, but Bray has made a big mistake in targeting him. It gets hard to hear what he says next as a crowd are chanting really loud, "Boring." He says that all his life he's had to face fear, and then he responds to the boring chant by saying he loves all of you too. He says if he ignored the chant then the crowd would just keep doing it. I think he's just opened a can of worms now and may have just shot himself in the head for more taunts. The crowd then starts chanting, "Feed me more." I have no clue what is going on with these fans. Anyway, Ryback said he's had a lot of severe injuries and doctors have told him he wouldn't wrestle again, so he's had to face fear all his life. He says that he eats fear and puts it into the pit of his stomach and makes it positive. He wakes up every day thankful and hungry to succeed, hungry to help others, and hungry to be a role model for all the kids in the audience. He goes on to say he's hungry to appear on Raw every Monday night and scream "Feed me more" with everyone in the audience. He tells Bray Wyatt this is what he does for the WWE Universe, and he gives a ton of reasons again as to why he wants to be a WWE superstar. He says Bray Wyatt wanted his attention, well he's got it, and he doesn't scare Ryback. He says his talking time is done, it's feeding time. As he does this, Bray Wyatt appears on the screen and goes on a weird ramble. He says Ryback paints himself as the untouchable force, but beneath the surface he's a scared little boy, afraid people will see through the facade and will see all of his failures. But it's a fear that moulds us all. The fear of the dark, the fear of the unknown, and it causes people to pledge their allegiance to higher powers. He goes on to say everything you love, everything you are afraid to lose is all going to fade away, and in time so will Ryback. Run! And then the screen cuts off. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd make their way to the ring with Natalya, and tonight they're taking on Connor and Victor, the Ascension. As they make their way to the ring, we are shown a pre-recorded promo by them in which we are told that Tyson Kidd thinks being married to Natalya makes him part of the Hart Foundation. Really, it makes him a wannabe like the rest of the Hart dynasty. They say that they're going to rip out the Harts and shove them down their throats tonight as they are taking on the greatest tag team of all time. Well, all I have to say about that is the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors were the best tag team ever, and all I see is two wannabes trying to copy their style with the face paint and the red and black leather shoulder pads. Well, they're now in the ring and the match starts and Tyson Kidd's getting double teamed by Ascension as the bell rings. The referee pushes Connor out and Victor attacks Kidd on his own. He throws Kidd into the Ascension corner and straight into a clothesline by Connor. They both stomp on Tyson Kidd, tagging in each other and out. The attack continues in the corner and Kidd just can't escape. Every time he gets to his feet he's knocked back to the ground by the Ascension. They whip Kidd into a flying boot by Connor and Kidd looks stunned. They go for the pin and Cesaro has to make the save. They continue the assault on Kidd in their corner, not letting him tag, and he has to take a beating that the Ascension are dishing out. Victor makes a mistake though when picking up Tyson Kidd and he manages to escape and get the tag to Cesaro. Cesaro comes in and it's a big back body drop to Victor. He then runs over and boots Connor in the face, knocking him off the ring apron. He then charges across the ring and a vicious uppercut. He Irish whips Victor and charges him for another uppercut. He does this a total of 8 times and the crowd absolutely love it. He then goes for a short arm clothesline and goes for the pin, but he only gets a 2 count. Cesaro deadlifts Victor and hits a gut wrench suplex and then sets him up for the King of Swing, but Connor tries to clothesline him. He misses and Cesaro sends him flying over the top rope. He turns around into a flying knee by Victor and Tyson Kidd just runs through the ring and suicide dives out onto Connor. Cesaro hits a spine buster on Victor and then hits the King of Swing. As he's spinning, he tags Kidd, who drop kicks Victor during the spin. Kidd covers and they get the 3 count and the win. Now will they be able to win back the tag team titles? We're backstage and Seth Rollins is making his way to the ring as he is against Dean Ambrose. Renee Young appears and asks him what he thinks of the match tonight against Ambrose. He says, firstly, there's no point to this match. Secondly, Kane is a moron. And then he just walks off towards the ring to get ready for the match against Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose makes his way to the ring and it's time for a repeat of the main event from Smackdown last Thursday. Coincidentally, I did a review of this also and I will add an annotation at the end and a link in the description box for you to go and view it if you like. Anyway, back to the match and now Seth makes his way to the ring alone. Just as the match is about to start, Kane's music hits and he comes out onto the ramp. He says he heard what Seth had to say about there being no point to this match and says that he will rectify this. Kane goes on to say that if Dean Ambrose wins tonight, the match at Payback will not be a triple threat match. It will become a fatal 4-way. Holy shit, Kane, that's awesome. Never have I wanted Dean Ambrose to win so much in my life. Rollins is furious and he says Kane cannot do that. He already had a vote on the match and they wanted a triple threat match. Ambrose grabs the mic and says he thinks it's a great idea. Ambrose asks the crowd if anyone has a problem with this if he gets added to the match. Rollins gets the mic back and says he doesn't have to listen to what anyone thinks because he's the champ, blah blah. Kane says he's in charge, the match and the stipulation are on and ring their bell. So here we go, it's Ambrose versus Rollins round 2. Ambrose goes straight for a roll-up pin and gets a 2 count and then the punches fly at Rollins' head. After the punches, chops ring out and Rollins is whipped into the ropes. He holds on and escapes the ring and Ambrose is fired up though tonight. Ambrose goes out of the ring and continues with the assault on Rollins. Rollins fights back and throws Ambrose into the ring. Ambrose does that spin move and hits Rollins with a clothesline on the outside. Ambrose then throws Rollins back in the ring and starts stalking him. He grabs Rollins by the face and pulls him to his feet. He kicks Rollins in the back of the head and then gets Seth in the weird submission hold. It's like an STFU, but it's not that. I don't know what the name for the move is, but Seth screams in pain. Ambrose hits a suplex and gets a 2 count and Seth kicks out. And now it's his turn to have some momentum. He whips Ambrose into the corner and starts booting him in the chest. A few punches and then a kick to the back in the centre of the ring. He then throws Ambrose into the corner and then hits 10 punches to his face as the crowd chant. Ambrose then reverses this and does the same back. He throws Seth across the ring and floors him with a chop when he comes out of the corner. He gets another 2 count and then Rollins takes control again. Rollins runs at Ambrose though and gets launched out of the ring and Raw goes to a break. When Raw returns, the Rollins and Ambrose match is still in full swing and Rollins is back in control in the ring though. Ambrose fights back from the headlock that Rollins has administered with punches and kicks and a headbutt and then he arm drag takedowns Rollins. Rollins grabs Ambrose's head and smashes it into the turnbuckle. Rollins then jumps onto the top rope and goes for the flying knee. Ambrose dodges and Rollins lands on his feet. He charges at Ambrose in the corner and is met with a big boot. Ambrose then hits a tornado DDT off the second rope and it looks like Rollins is over. Rollins goes down and Ambrose lays there just smiling. Both men stay down. I don't get why he hasn't covered. When they both get up, they trade punches in the centre of the ring. Ambrose gets the upper hand and lays them into Rollins. Then he hits a running bulldog and goes to the top rope. He goes for an elbow drop, but Rollins escapes out of the ring. Ambrose runs at the ropes instead and hits a suicide dive between the ropes and crashes Rollins into the barrier. Ambrose then throws Rollins into the ring and Rollins delivers several kicks to Ambrose. He misses with the roundhouse super kick and Dean Ambrose hits him with a facebuster powerbomb. He rolls over for the pin and only gets a 2 count. Ambrose gets to his feet and he stalks Rollins again. He goes for the Dirty Deeds DDT, but Rollins reverses it into the start of a powerbomb. Ambrose then counters this into a big back body drop, but Rollins sort of lands on his feet and launches Ambrose into the corner. Ambrose moves and nobody is home. Ambrose goes to the top rope and hits the elbow drop, but it's another 2 count kick out. Ambrose sits up laughing and Rollins lays on the floor disorientated. Ambrose stalks Rollins again and Rollins grabs his head and drops to the floor, bouncing Ambrose's neck off the ropes. He gets to the apron and then kicks Ambrose in the head and leaps off the top rope with a flying knee to the face, and he gets another 2 count. Rollins gets to his feet and Ambrose tries to, but he can't. His legs are knockout wobbly. Rollins taunts Ambrose and then hits a super kick to Ambrose's face to finish him off. Ambrose still manages though to kick out at 2. Rollins starts arguing with the referee about it being a slow count, and then Rollins picks up Ambrose and he's going for a powerbomb, but Ambrose fights back and Rollins drops him. They trade punches in the centre of the ring again and Ambrose gets the upper hand. He then clotheslines Rollins out of the ring and he follows too. Ambrose goes after Rollins again. Rollins reverses the move and powerbombs Ambrose into the barrier outside the ring. Rollins gets back in the ring and the ref starts counting Ambrose. He gets back in the ring at a 9 count. Rollins stands there with his arm aloft thinking that he's won and then realises that Ambrose is still in the match. Rollins starts stamping on Ambrose and Ambrose fights back but goes into an enziguri by Rollins. He staggers back and does the fall between the ropes rebound thing and then comes back at Rollins with a really hard clothesline. Ambrose sets up for the Dirty Deeds DDT and we see J&J security run into the ring. They cause an interference with the referee and Ambrose chases them out of the ring. As he's about to turn round, Rollins grabs him from behind. Ambrose reverses it though and rolls up Rollins for the pin and win. Ambrose is now in the main event at Payback. What a match that was. Ambrose escapes the ring and Rollins looks amazed, and J&J security stand in the ring knowing that they are in trouble. But the Payback pay-per-view is now a fatal 4-way with Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose all going for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ambrose sits on the ramp smiling. Rollins looks absolutely gutted and furious. He knows that his title reign may be over, but we'll see at my Payback review after the pay-per-view in a few weeks' time. Kane is in his office and he's on the phone, and Rollins walks in being held back by J&J security. He says he's going to beat the crap out of Kane for what's just happened. He is not happy. Kane says the WWE Universe chose the triple threat match, but Seth Rollins chose the fatal 4-way match by losing his match just. Kane says he can keep on adding people to the match if he wants. He says that all this is being done to make Rollins a better man and a better champion. Kane says that they want Rollins to be the champion that they want him and need him to be, and it's for his own good. He then tells Seth that there is no reason to worry as he's got a plan, and Kane walks off. Lana is stood with Byron Saxton and he asks her what it's like to get a positive reaction from the crowd. She says that she doesn't know what he's talking about. She says her position here is only for the betterment, and then Fandango walks in and he grabs the microphone. He says Lana needs to feel it and let it flow because the ecstasy of the WWE Universe accepting you is euphoric. Watch this, and he walks off ready for his match. Rusev walks in and starts talking in Russian to Lana. Lana looks like she's being told off again, and then she follows Rusev as he walks off. Rusev is taking Fandango on after the commercials. When we come back, Fandango comes out and makes his way to the ring, and the crowd love dancing along to his music. Rusev then heads to the ring waving his flag. As Lana comes out as well, she gets cheered and she waves to the crowd. Rusev says something and she stops immediately and follows him to the ring. As he makes his way to the ring, we're reminded of the I Quit match that Rusev is taking Cena on Payback pay-per-view for the US title. We are then told that later tonight John Cena will be offering an open challenge for the title as well, but first it's Fandango versus Rusev. I can't see this match lasting that long if I'm honest. Rusev starts with the power kick straight away and he throws Fandango around until he jumps at him in the corner. Fandango moves and then he starts laying the punches into Rusev, but the Russian just kicks back and then sends him flying out of the ring. Fandango walks up to Lana and starts the finger dance. Lana smiles and copies him. Rusev runs around the ring and attacks Fandango from behind, and then has a go at Lana, scolding her and sending her to the back. As Rusev watches her leave, he's attacked from behind by Fandango. Rusev charges at him but runs into the ring post, and Fandango then throws him into the ring post again. He then throws him back into the ring and hits a dropkick, felling the Giant Russian. He does this several other times and then goes and attacks Rusev in the corner. This is short-lived though, as Rusev just throws Fandango away and then hits him in the head with a super kick. Instead of pinning him though, he gets him into the accolade, and Fandango has no option but to tap out and give the Russian the win via a submission. Rusev celebrates in the middle of the ring as Raw goes to a break, and then after the break we are shown more entrants for the WWE Tough Enough competition. There's still more time to enter at WWEToughEnough.com. After watching the entrance to Tough Enough, it's time for the next match, and R-Truth is taking on Stardust in singles competition. We are shown a promo by Cody Rhodes saying that R-Truth took his opportunity to become the king of the ring, and tonight he is going to get his revenge. I also noticed that he's coming to the ring holding a bag. I guess we'll find out later what is in it, but I have a feeling it's spiders. But we will see. The match starts and R-Truth goes for a pin straight away. Cody kicks out, and now R-Truth gets some use out of some arm bars. Cody breaks free and goes for the bag, but R-Truth grabs him and throws him back at the ropes for a shoulder block. R-Truth goes for a suplex, but Cody blocks it and reverses it into a front suplex that lands R-Truth on his face. Cody goes for the bag again, but R-Truth grabs him and starts punching him. R-Truth goes for the bag now, but Cody starts kicking him. Cody hits a side Russian leg sweep and then stamps on R-Truth and starts punching as R-Truth gets up. They trade punches in the middle of the ring, and both of them then go for a cross body block, and both men are down. Stardust crawls to the corner, and just as he's about to open the bag, R-Truth pulls him back. Cody kicks him off, and R-Truth makes a comeback and hits Cody with a face buster. He only gets a 2 count, but then he goes and gets the bag. As he opens it, Cody attacks. R-Truth fights him off and continues to open the bag, and it scares the shit out of him as there are loads of little spiders in it that come out of the bag. I guess right, and he falls backwards into a roll-up pin, and Cody gets a 3 count and the win. The spiders though are rubber or plastic, and while Cody celebrates in the ring, R-Truth runs away to the back to get away from the fake spiders. Little bit cringeworthy. Next up, we're told, is John Cena's open challenge for the WWE US title. John Cena makes his way to the ring to the John Cena sucks chant, and he gets booed when he raises the US title. I forgot they were in Canada. Cena gets a mic and the crowd continues to chant Cena sucks. Cena says, "I quit." The words now have a meaning. He says it sounds like Montreal wishes him and wants him to quit, give up and walk away. The crowd start chanting, "Yes, yes, yes." Cena says you know he's dealt with this adversity for years, and no matter what the hostility, whether you are a critic or an opponent, Cena will never give up. So at Payback, he will fight Rusev for the last time, whether he wins or loses. If he says "I quit," then he believes he doesn't deserve a rematch. Cena stands there while the crowd sing to him again. Cena says getting him to say "I quit" is a lot harder than stopping the Montreal crowd singing at him. It's never gonna happen. Cena says the I Quit match is punishing and will test the man's willpower, and at Payback Cena will fight for and try to defend everything that he's done for the past 10 years. Cena says he won't disappear into the night. On the night of the pay-per-view he will fight, and he asks the crowd what they would do if they were fighting for their lives, and someone sticks a microphone in their face and asks them if they will quit. The crowd chant no. Cena asks again what is their answer, and they all chant no again. He then asks random audience members and their answers. They all say no as well. Cena says that he will not give up because he fights for what he believes in. Cena then goes on a bit more about the pay-per-view and ends up saying the champ is here. He then offers the belt as an invitation, and if you want some, come and get some. Bret the Hitman Hart's music starts and Cena looks in shock. The crowd go absolutely wild, and Bret the Hitman Hart walks out onto the stage. Surely he's not going to challenge Cena for the title. Cena looks on in shock as Bret makes his way to the ring. Bret gets a mic and says he's here for one reason. He's here to introduce a great wrestler, and then suddenly Heath Slater's music rings. Heath Slater shouts out to everyone to wait a minute. Each week he's tried to have a shot at the title, but something's happened, and when will he get his shot? Will it be tonight? He says he won't let his moment go and get stepped on again, especially in Montreal. As he walks to the ring, he mocks the crowd, and then he talks about what happened stopping his title chances, and he's tired of this happening. He gets into the ring, and as he does so, Bret Hitman Hart hits him and KOs him with a microphone. Bret then says he came here tonight to introduce a hometown boy, and he can't wait to see Cena face off against Sami Zayn. The crowd goes absolutely wild, and it's time for the rookie to face Cena for the US title. The match starts, and within seconds a dropkick to Cena's face knocks him out of the ring. Sami goes to follow up, but Cena moves away and Zayn does a backflip off the ropes. Cena stands outside the ring applauding. Cena gets back into the ring and hits a side suplex and gets a 2 count. He then gets a headlock on Zayn and then hits another side suplex. Once again another 2 count. Cena gets up and he looks concerned. The ref does as well, and he checks on Zayn. They call for a doctor who comes to the ring to also check on Zayn. Zayn gets up rubbing his shoulder and the ref checks to see if he's okay. Zayn stretches it out and says he wants to continue with the match. Cena looks surprised, and my guess is he's hurt, but doesn't want to spoil his Raw debut. Cena backs Zayn into a corner, but Zayn fights back with a clothesline, favouring his shoulder still. He starts unloading punches on Cena, and he throws Cena at the ropes. Cena comes back with a shoulder block twice, and then another side suplex. Cena does the "you can't see me" move, and as he leans forward, Zayn rolls him up. He gets a 2 count and both men spring back to their feet. Unfortunately for Zayn, straight into an attitude adjustment. Zayn grabs hold of the ropes and stops Cena from doing the move. Zayn then goes to the top rope and hits a cross body block, but only gets a 2 count as Cena rolls out of the ring again to take another breather. Zayn isn't going to let this happen, and he runs across the ring and launches himself over the top rope straight onto Cena. You can see he's still quite clearly in pain from his shoulder. Zayn throws Cena into the ring and Cena locks in the STFU. Zayn fights the pain and makes it to the bottom rope, causing Cena to break the hold. Cena tells the ref something about Sami's shoulder and waves the ref off. It makes me wonder if he should have tapped there and Cena is trying to end the match. Cena goes after Zayn and Zayn locks in the Koji clutch and tries to make Cena submit. Super Cena breaks the unbreakable hold and then scoops Zayn up onto his shoulder for another attitude adjustment. Sami fights off and German suplexes Cena and then goes for the pin. Cena kicks out and Lana and Rusev are watching a monitor in the back. Rusev does not look happy. Back to the match, and the injured rookie is really taking it to Cena. Cena hits him with a clothesline and then goes to hit Zayn with another AA. Zayn lands on his feet and both men double clothesline each other. Both are down and Cena rolls out of the ring again. Sami runs and jumps through the ropes and hits Cena with a DDT on the outside of the ring. Holy shit, that looked awesome. Cena looks dazed and Zayn is still holding his shoulder. He gets Cena back into the ring, but Super Cena jumps up and hits the AA on Zayn. Surely this is it. Zayn kicks out at 2 and Cena cannot believe it. And Cena walks over to the ref and seems to complain to the ref. I think Zayn isn't playing by the rules here. Zayn can hardly stand and Cena goes after him again. Cena throws Zayn at the ropes and Zayn reverses it into a blue thunder bomb. Zayn only gets a 2 count though as Super Cena kicks out. Someone is bleeding as the referees had to put on rubber gloves and Sami starts punching Cena. Cena gets up and starts laying the punches into Zayn, who now can't lift his left arm. Cena manages to hit the Stone Cold Stunner off the ropes and Zayn is down. Cena picks him up, hits another attitude adjustment, and this time he gets a 3 count and the win over the rookie. It was an awesome match and I just hope Sami Zayn hasn't done too much damage to his shoulder. Cena even looked shocked as to have won that match, and it was probably the toughest match he's fought so far. Cena helps Zayn up and raises his arm at the end, allowing Sami to get some adulation for the match that he's just participated in. But let's hope he hasn't injured himself too much. Nikki and Brie Bella are walking towards the ring and they walk past a still celebrating New Day. Nikki is taking on Naomi in singles diva action tonight, after Naomi ran her mouth last week in her promo about beating and spoiling Nikki's title reign. As the Bellas make their way to the ring, they're attacked from behind by Naomi and Tamina Snuka. Tamina super kicks one Bella Twin, and Naomi hits an Enziguri on the other. The match doesn't even start, and both Bellas are laid out outside the ring. Naomi gets a mic and says that the Bellas' reign over the Divas division is over, and she and Tamina walk to the back. We are all told to welcome the King of the Ring winner, King Barrett, to the ring. He mocks the crowd as he walks to the ring, and he says it's been a week for royalty, the birth of the royal baby and the crowning of King Barrett. He says he will rule with an iron fist, and anyone who doesn't like it will be hit with a bull hammer. He says everyone should get used to the next 4 words, as you will hear them all the time. All hail King Barrett. Sheamus, his tag team partner, is out next, and then Neville and Dolph Ziggler come out to take them on in tag team action. Ziggler starts off against Barrett and gets taken to Barrett's corner and stamped on. He then attacks Ziggler with punches and kicks in the other corners, but not allowing Ziggler to get the tag in his corner. Barrett goes for a cover and gets a 2 count. Barrett then throws Ziggler onto the ropes, and he hits a massive DDT on Barrett and plants him into the centre of the mat. Ziggler goes for the pin, but only gets a 2 count as Raw goes to a break. When it returns, Sheamus is dominating Ziggler with a headlock in the middle of the ring. He fights out of the hold, and Reigns punches down into Sheamus' face, who's actually supporting a black eye. Instead of going for the tag, he runs at Sheamus and gets reversed into an Irish curse. Sheamus taunts Ziggler and picks him up. Ziggler tries to fight back, but Sheamus blocks it, and he slaps Ziggler around a little bit, who then manages to hit him with a super kick. Ziggler crawls to Neville and gets a tag, and Sheamus also tags in Barrett. Neville starts off with high energy and hits the Hurricanrana, throwing Barrett out of the ring. He then runs at the ropes and flies over the top onto Barrett. Okay, this is the same match now every time that Neville's in the ring. He needs to start switching it up a bit, because it's getting to the point where people who follow WWE are going to know what is going to happen next. He throws Barrett into the ring and then launches himself off the top rope. The dropkick connects, and so does the standing shooting star press that Barrett kicks out at 2. Barrett then kicks Neville in the stomach, and he sets up for a bull hammer. He winds it up, and Neville ducks it and hits an Enziguri. He goes for a German suplex, but only gets a 2 count because Sheamus had also attacked Neville to break up the pin. Ziggler attacks Sheamus and follows him through the ropes as they fight outside the ring. Meanwhile, Barrett and Neville continue fighting. Barrett charges at Neville in the corner, and he misses, and Neville kicks him in the head. Neville positions Barrett, and as he goes to the top for the red arrow, he gets interrupted by Sheamus and kicks Sheamus in the face. This gives Barrett enough time to get back up. Neville sees this, and he jumps off the top rope instead of going for the finisher, and Barrett hits him in the face with a bull hammer, and it's good night, Neville. He gets covered, and Barrett gets a 3 count, and Barrett and Sheamus win the match. Barrett gets his crown and scepter and celebrates in the centre of the ring. So the next match is the main event, Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, and Reigns' music starts playing and he heads to the ring through the crowd. Randy then makes his way to the ring, and the main event seems pointless. I think that this is only taking place to either damage each participant for the Payback pay-per-view, or Kane and Rollins have got something up their sleeve. Orton and Reigns are standing in the ring when suddenly Kane's music starts. He stands on the ramp, and Rollins and J&J security follow him out, and they make their way down to ringside. Jamie Noble gets a mic and stands on the announce table so people can see him, and then he says that he's a secret guest ring announcer. He says Joey Mercury is a special guest timekeeper, and the special guest ringside enforcer is Kane. He then says that Seth Rollins is a special guest commentator, and the bell rings and Orton and Reigns begins. Reigns tries to explain to Orton that something is going on and that they should team against the special guests. Maybe he's not so stupid after all. Randy is having none of it though, and he goes straight for an RKO, and Reigns pushes him off. They then start trading punches in the centre of the ring, and Orton gets the upper hand and whips Reigns into the ropes and then floors him with a shoulder block. Reigns gets up and he punches and kicks Randy and then Irish whips him into the corner. Randy Orton comes out with a big clothesline, once again knocking Reigns down. Randy goes back to attacking Reigns when Reigns scoops him up and hits a Samoan drop. Reigns then gets up and starts stamping on different body parts of Orton. He picks up Orton and throws him out of the ring. Randy picks up Reigns outside the ring and side suplexes him onto the barrier. Reigns comes back with several shots to Randy Orton, and then one shot floors Jamie Noble. Orton hits Reigns with a clothesline and then gets back in the ring as Joey Mercury and Kane make their way around to this side of the ring. They help Jamie Noble up and Randy gets out of the ring and goes after Reigns again. He attacks Reigns and throws him back into the ring. As Randy gets back into the ring, Reigns hits a flying forearm, taking Randy down. He gets back up and so does Randy, and they fight in the centre of the ring once more. Reigns goes for another Samoan drop, but Randy counters it into a backbreaker, and then Orton tries to set up the second rope DDT. Reigns breaks free, he grabs Orton's head and then jumps off the apron, slingshotting Orton back. He then starts attacking Orton again and sets up for a Superman punch. He misses this and Orton turns it into a power slam. He then sets up for the second rope DDT and plants Roman with it. Orton then gets up and sets up for the RKO. Reigns counters and he hits a Superman punch instead. Orton rolls out of the ring and Reigns sets up to launch himself over the top rope. As he runs at the ropes, Kane grabs onto his leg and pulls Roman out and punches him. He then tells Rollins to go for Kane and he goes after Orton. Instead of Rollins doing as he's told, they all four go and attack Randy Orton. While they're attacking him, Roman Reigns leaps the ropes and takes all four men down. Rollins grabs Reigns and throws him into a ring post, knocking him down, and all four men go after Orton again in the ring. Orton tries to fight back, but this is to no avail. Reigns gets back in to help, but once again 4-on-1 isn't fair. Dean Ambrose's music hits and he makes his way to the ring to even the score a little bit. He goes straight for Rollins and takes him down. Orton gets back up and starts on Joey Mercury, and Reigns knocks Kane out of the ring. It's now Rollins left in the ring alone with all the other competitors of the Payback's main event. Rollins tries to escape, but as he does he gets speared by Reigns and he falls out of the ring. Randy Orton then walks behind Reigns and then hits an RKO on him. Ambrose sees this and hits a Dirty Deeds DDT on Randy Orton, and Raw goes off the air with Ambrose as the last man standing. All of the commentary team wonder whether this could happen at the pay-per-view and Ambrose could become the World Heavyweight Champion. Anyway, thanks for watching my review. I hope you've enjoyed it this week. Also tonight, there seemed to be a lot of tag team action, so I'm going to ask you a question for everyone who's made it this far into the video. Who is your favourite tag team and why? Leave the answer in the comments section, and I'll see you all later on in the week for the Smackdown review. Till then, thanks for watching, and bye for now. So, I hope you all enjoyed this week's Raw review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comments section, and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre for more wrestling reviews. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video, and until then, bye for now.